Welcome. My name is Jacob Bassett, and I would like to share my thoughts on what it would take to become a successful teacher. You are probably not that far along in your teaching career, but as you get farther into it, you will see that there is really quite a lot that goes into being a teacher, and that becoming a successful teacher is something that you should strive for, and that will eventually be very rewarding. Teaching really is not all that easy. In fact, it will probably at times be incredibly frustrating, and you will want to tear your hair out. However, I strongly advise against doing that. That said, teaching is not something you should enter too lightly, but it is something that you will, over time, find a lot of enjoyment in. There's nothing really better than being able to see a kid's face light up with understanding. There really is quite a lot that goes into teaching. I can't even begin to explain all the different things that teaching encompasses. From professional practice, to ethics, to effectively delivering instruction, to actually making sure that your kids care about being there. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to make students feel wanted. Ensure that your learning environment is a place they want to be. You want them to feel accepted and, in a real way, at home in the classroom. The first aspect of teaching that I think is critically important is being able to communicate. Being able to communicate effectively, as in any part of life, is critical in teaching. You're going to be doing a lot of talking to students, a lot of instruction, a lot of telling them what to do, giving directions. And that's something that you have to be able to do. Most teachers don't realize exactly how hard that is. Students, they're unruly. They want to talk. They want to not listen to you. They want to not care about you. You have to take that mindset and change it. You have to get their attention and keep it. Additionally, you need to be able to express your thoughts effectively. The best thoughts are only as good as they are expressed. I mean, you can have all sorts of great ideas in your head, but if the person you're talking to or your classroom is not able to understand you, is not able to comprehend what in the world you are talking about, then they are not going to get the material, they're not going to understand, and they're really just not going to care. And that is something that as a teacher you have to try very hard to avoid. That's that loss of attention, that loss of interest from your students. That said, if you're not an effective speaker, you should probably try to become more of one, or even possibly try to avoid activities that involve you talking a lot, such as lecture. Lecture isn't necessarily bad, but teaching does not equal talking, and listening does not equal learning. If you're a teacher that prefers to lecture over any other sort of learning activity, you're probably not going to have that great of results. Again, note-taking is a huge skill for students, and that's something you might have to teach, but just talking at the students and expecting them to listen and somehow learn from that is not necessarily going to be an effective strategy. It's a strategy that one might really want to avoid. A really good teacher of mine told me that lectures should only be 20 minutes long. Anything longer than that, you're probably just going to lose their interest completely. And again, going back to being an effective speaker, if you cannot effectively talk and can't keep their attention throughout your lecture, throughout any activity that you do, they're not going to listen. If you give instructions and they don't listen, well, you have to explain them again and again and again and again until they finally get it. So being able to communicate effectively while not trying to talk too much is incredibly important. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is the importance of establishing clear classroom procedures. Students are naturally unruly, and they need to know what to do. If you have a classroom with clear expectations and clear procedures that students expect to follow, that will follow without question, then you'll have a well-run and well-organized classroom. On the other hand, if you do not have clear procedures, do not have clear expectations, your classroom may very well turn into a madhouse. And madhouses are generally not good places to conduct learning. They're not conducive to learning. They're generally just not very good for a learning environment. So, you need to clearly, from day one, set forth your expectations, set forth your procedures. Students need to know what they need to do when they come into the classroom. They don't need to sit down and start talking to their friends. They need to sit down and get to work. You have a limited amount of instructional time, and you need to use it as effectively as possible. If you're not able to do so, then again, learning will suffer. Next, don't be afraid to test the limits of what your students can do. Your students may not think that they can accomplish a certain assignment. They may think that writing a research paper is too hard. You might think that they can't make a video, that they can't do a skit, that they can't do a play. Don't think that. Give them ample opportunities to succeed. Do not leave your higher achieving students bored. Do not leave your lower achieving students feeling like they can't do work. You need to give every student the best opportunity to succeed that you possibly can, and make sure that your instruction challenges them. Challenge every student to succeed. Challenge every student to fully take advantage of the opportunities that you offer in your classroom. Good teaching is all about becoming a teacher. Sounds simple, right? No. A lot of people say, oh, teaching is my job. No, teaching is not your job. Teaching is part of who you are. And similarly, you should try to apply who you are, the experiences that made you who you are today, to teaching. Give teaching a personal touch. Let your students see who you really are. Don't lose sight of your values. Don't lose sight of your belief. You should value learning. You should value letting your students succeed. You should care about your students' success. In the end, it's all about the students. And that's something that you should hold on to. You should cherish. Don't ever let teaching become just a job. Don't ever allow that to happen. And again, give your students the best opportunity to succeed. Give yourself the best opportunity to succeed as a teacher. If you do this, you'll find teaching to be much more rewarding, and you'll find a lot of meaning in it. Personally, I love teaching. There's nothing I would rather be doing in my life. There really isn't. And again, I hope this is something that you can incorporate in yourself. Finding a love and a joy for teaching is really what separates a great teacher from a good one. Being able to go to work feeling like you have the best job in the world, and coming home every day satisfied with how your day went, knowing that you have allowed students to learn, that you have helped them to succeed, that you have made a difference in their lives, that is critical. That's the whole reason I wanted to become a teacher in the first place. It's so that I could help students succeed and make a difference in their lives. And that's something that you should try to find as well. After watching this video, I hope you don't feel too daunted with the task in front of you. Teaching is tough, but it's something that you can find real enjoyment in and feel like you're making a difference in people's lives. Teaching will become a part of you, and teaching is something that you will cherish for the rest of your life. Congratulations on taking the next step and becoming a teacher. I hope you find success right outside your door.